All right, I'm about to go off, so buckle up. Both Trump and Biden went to the border yesterday to discuss their messaging on immigration, with Trump going to Eagle Pass while Biden went to Brownsville. And honestly, I've got a bone to pick with both men. Let's start with Trump because obviously my main issue is with his vile and hateful rhetoric that isn't at all based in facts. Let's start with him lying about migrant crime.
He's transported the entire columns of fighting-aged men, and they're all at a certain age, and you look at them and say, they look like warriors to me. Something's going on that's bad. Now the United States is being overrun by the Biden migrant crime. It's a new form of vicious violation to our country. It's migrant crime. We call it Biden migrant crime, but that's a little bit long.
Now, this is the talking point that just highlights the racism within Trump. He sees foreign men and depicts them as warriors and criminals and alludes to something having to be up, despite the fact that immigrants consistently have committed less crimes than US-born citizens since 1960. Even low-skilled, low-educated immigrants commit less crimes than equally skilled or equally educated US-born citizens, and specifically, compared to immigrants, white men are statistically more likely to be unemployed, unmarried, and in poor health, all of which are indicators of the environment or situations that may lead one to commit crime. And anytime that a Laken Riley case happens, right-wingers are quick to try and hyperfixate on that, despite even undocumented immigrants being less likely to commit homicide or violent crime in general. Continuing with this same dangerous rhetoric, however, here is Trump labeling the immigration discussion and border as a war.
It's a military operation. I mean, we have this is like a war. It's a military operation. So we had remain in Mexico. Remember that? You can't come into our country, and Mexico agreed to it. And I'll tell you someday, I'll tell you why. Safe third agreements, asylum bans, Title 42.
These are people fleeing persecution and seeking asylum, many of which are fleeing economic situations we landed those countries in through sanctions and coups, and he's labeling them as if they're soldiers. The issue with Remain in Mexico and the policies he listed here is their inhumane nature, placing those already seeking help in precarious situations with no resource or no money for resources is a recipe for disaster, let alone not really allowing them their due process, and it did nothing to overhaul our immigration system. So these people were there waiting for months because the asylum claims are already backed up with documented cases of these people being kidnapped, extorted, and worse in the areas where they were being sent, where border officials and independent researchers both note the extensive criminal and gang influence around these areas, and these people specifically were targeted due to being migrants with their court documents and such being inspected. So much so that Mexico has already shot down and completely rejected any notion of reinstating this program, supporting instead what they call more humane pathways as they too realize the massive problems this creates. Now, let's play a speech from Biden's clip and I can tie it all together as well as my overarching problem with both men's appearances.
I understand my predecessors in Eagle Pass today. So here's what I would say to Mr. Trump. Instead of playing politics with this issue, instead of telling members of Congress to block this legislation, join me, or I'll join you in telling the Congress to pass this bipartisan border security bill. We can do it together. You know and I know it's the toughest, most efficient, most effective border security bill this country has ever seen. So instead of playing politics with the issue, why don't we just get together and get it done? Let's remember who the heck we work for.
Now, I want to preempt this by saying I get what he was going for. Make it clear that he's the one willing to come to the table, which he is. Make it clear that Trump is the one obstructing any deal from getting made, which he is. And explain how a majority of this is just for political fodder coming into an election year, which it is. But damn it, this is not how you deal with fascists. I showed you the rhetoric that Trump is using on the border and migrants, and you don't tell someone like that, hey, let's work together. I'll join you. No, you shove their stupid prejudice down their throats with the truth, the facts, and the data on the matter. He should be highlighting that there is no migrant crime problem. He should be highlighting the numerous economic benefits that we see from migrants, from them creating more jobs than they take, to their labor filling undesirable jobs and being the reason that prices are so low in multiple sectors, agriculture, food. He should be highlighting these things. He should be saying how immigrants come because of the economic sanctions that we have placed, largely Republicans, that cause a strain on their middle and lower classes, shoving it down Trump's throat that he's a racist, authoritarian fascist who just doesn't like brown people. You don't reach across the aisle to work with xenophobes. You didn't see the government working with the KKK back in the day on race relations. He should have expressed more strongly the need for more judges, for a clearer and easier path to citizenship, to an overhaul of our work visa system. He should have mentioned how the majority of illegal immigrants in this country are just expired work visas, not immigrants who are pouring over the border like Trump wants to act, like hand over hand, bringing their brother and sister with them, and how we should be making it easier for these people to continue to contribute to our economy rather than stigmatizing them as illegal. You can't allow these fascists to have this sort of a conversation in their arena where they then just presuppose the argument with misinformation and constantly have you on the defensive because of it. And that's why I don't like the angle that Biden took here. It says that Republicans have been right all along in their fear-mongering, and instead of rejecting their ideas for being inhumane, Democrats just didn't want to solve the problem and now are only willing to do so for the election. When in reality, Dems were right all along that not only would this solve the issue, but it's terribly inhumane, and nothing's changed just because more pressure is being put on the optics. So I think this is wrong any way you want to cut it, but especially as some 3D chess move politically, because it just instantly puts you on defense and also further divides moderates from us progressives who are needed if the left is going to remain in any sort of political majority. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.